Admiral, it's a pleasure to be here with you. I tell all my friends all the time that I've gotten more surveillance as a member of Congress than I did as an undercover officer in the CIA. And I think you've gotten more arrows shot at you, since you've been DNI than you did in your almost 4 decades on the battlefield. A specific question, the letter that's contained in the whistleblower package is actually dated August 12th, and I recognize this may be a better question to be asking the ICIG. That letter is dated August 12th, and it's to the chairman of the Senate Select Committee on Intelligence and to the chairman of this committee. Do you know if the whistleblower provided that letter to those two chairmen concurrently with the ICIG?
No, Congressman. As I said earlier, I believe that the whistleblower and the ICIG acted in good faith and followed the law every step of the way.
Good copy. We've talked about the way the law on the whistleblower statute says you shall share if it's decided to be an urgent concern. However, best practices has always been to share regardless of whether that urgent concern. Do you see any reason, a negative impact on the intelligence community if that legislation was changed to say all whistleblower complaints should be shared with the committees?
That's correct. And in addition to that, Congressman, let's just say the allegation was made against a member of this committee. Members of this committee, although you are in the Intelligence Committee, are not members of the intelligence community. And as the DNI, I have no authority or responsibility over this committee.
But my question is, do you think that if every whistleblower complaint that was brought to the Intelligence Community Inspector General was always shared with this committee, would that have any impact on intelligence equities? And I ask that because I don't know why, when the statute was written, that it didn't say all should be shared rather than only urgent concern. And my question to you as the head of the intelligence community, do you think if we change that law, would it have impact on intelligence equities?
I don't think that a law could be changed to cover all things that might possibly happen. I think we have a good law. I think it is well written. However, as I said, Congressman, this is unprecedented, and this is a unique situation. Why this one is, this is why we're sitting here this morning.
Sure, and I hope we're not in this position again. However, if we do find ourselves in this position again, I want to make sure that there's not any uncertainty in when information should be shared to this committee. Was the ODNI, or under you or under your predecessor, aware of an OMB decision to suspend Ukrainian aid, as was alleged in this complaint?
As far as I am concerned personally, Congressman, no, I have no knowledge of that, and I am unaware if anybody within the ODNI is aware of that. I just don't know the answer to that.
And again, I apologize for a lot of these legal questions that may be best directed at somebody else, but I feel like you have a perspective. When does OLC, Office of
Legal Counsel,
guidance override laws passed by Congress?
The Office of Legal Counsel does not override laws passed by Congress. What it does is it passes legal opinion for those of us who are in the executive branch. And the Office of Legal Counsel, legal opinion, is binding to everyone within the executive branch.
Good copy. And I have 2 final questions, and I'm going to ask them together to give you the time to answer them both. What is your assessment of how intelligence operations in general are going to be impacted by this latest episode? And when I say episode, I'm referring to the media circus, the political circus, the technical issues that are related to this whistleblower revelation. You alluded to it in some of your previous questions, but I would like your assessment on how this can impact intelligence operations in the future. And I do believe this is your first time testifying to Congress in your position, right? And I would welcome in the end, I know this is a little off topic, what do you see are greatest challenges and threats to this country as the Director of National Intelligence?
Well, let me answer the latter part of that. I think that the greatest challenge that we face is not necessarily, from a kinetic strike or with Russia or China or Iran or North Korea. I think the greatest challenge that we do have is to make sure that we maintain the integrity of our election system. We know right now, that there are foreign powers who are trying to get us to question the validity on whether or not our elections are valid. So first and foremost, I think that protecting the sanctity of our election within the United States, whether it be national, city, state, and local, is perhaps the most important job that we have with the intelligence community. Outside of that, we do face significant threats. I'd say number one is not necessarily kinetic, but cyber. This is a cyber world. We talk about whether or not the great competition is taking place with Russia and China, and we are, building ships and weapons to do that. But in my estimation, the great competition with these countries is taking place right now and is doing that in the cyber realm.
Admiral, my time is, I think, running out,
Yes,
but
sir.
the broader implications on intelligence operations of this current whistleblower situation.
Well, I will tell you, in light of this, I clearly have a lot of work as the leader of this community to do, to reassure that, the intelligence community, that in fact, I am totally committed to the whistleblower program. And I am absolutely, absolutely committed to protecting the anonymity of this individual, as well as making sure that Michael Atkinson, who is our ICIG, continues to be able to do his job unfettered. But I think that with that, I certainly have to be proactive in my communications with my team.
Mr. Chairman, I yield back to time I may or may not have.
Mr. Castro.
Thank you, Chairman. Thank you, Director McGuire, for your testimony today. I want to say thank you also to the whistleblower for having the courage and the bravery to come forward on behalf of the